What's up, everyone? Welcome to another episode of MVP Unplugged, man. Today's MVP is an all rounder. He does a lot of stuff. I need to take out my phone to name them. He's a public speaker, a career counselor, a corporate trainer. Also, the main thing, he's a disability inclusion activist. Let's welcome Faiz on the show, man.
Thank you so much, guys. Thank
Welcome on the show. Thanks for coming.
You've done my part. I feel.
Yeah.
You've taken my, things of what I was about to tell. But yes, thank you so much for having me. Before we start, I really want to tell that MVP is doing a great job.
Oh,
I've been
Thank
seeing
you.
your stuff. What is different about you, I feel, is that you guys are not very specific to a niche. You've been trying to upload a lot of things. The best thing which I saw was I was talking to Rahul
Mhm.
just 5 minutes back that your last podcast was on. You were discussing some ghost stories
yeah.
in Kodaikanal.
Yeah.
So I really enjoyed that.
Mhm.
That really shows that it's always not always okay to have a professional talk. But yeah,
Right,
sometimes this also works. People love
Yeah.
to hear all this. So kudos to you, man.
Thank you.
Good
Thank you so
going.
much. It's a real pleasure hearing it from you.
Yeah.
And now let's get a little serious on it.
Yes. Yeah.
So, when I saw your profile and everything, whatever you do, I really felt what you do is God's work, man. Like,
Thank
we
you, man.
need to appreciate it. Like, what you
Mhm.
do is really great.
Yeah.
And how did everything start up for you?
Interesting question. See, I somewhere believe that if we are brought into this world, there is a purpose to it. And if we are not up to that purpose, I think the birth itself doesn't make sense.
Yes.
Me being in this world, and if I'm not for a purpose driven towards the society, I somehow feel that I'm useless. So I always had this in my mind ki I need to do something different than what the normal people are doing. That is how it all started. Going back to my childhood, if you see that my childhood pictures and stuff like that, even standing in front of a crowd taking a photograph was a bigger challenge for me. You have this class photos, right?
Yeah.
Right.
So in a crowd, even standing for a photograph was a bigger challenge for me because I was so introvert.
Mhm.
Okay.
I was the most demotivated guy and stuff like that. But I had something in my mind that time. Ki, okay, I need to be standing out of the crowd.
Mhm.
It all started with a small question which I asked, and people laughed at it. It was in my 10th standard. I still remember there was a talk which was happening in the auditorium, and he was randomly asking questions. He was asking this, that, and all. And the last part was that he had an open thing where audience can ask him questions. So me being the most introvert, half of the crowd didn't even know that Faiz exists. But I had this in my mind, ki, okay, he really impressed me. His name was Anthony. I still remember his name. So he was talking about motivation. He was talking about how to take the opportunities out of nowhere and stuff like that. So that one talk about taking opportunities of nowhere. So here, God was catering me an opportunity to ask a question. If I miss this out, I somewhere felt that ki, I'm never going to be in front of crowd talking to people or inspiring them. So I just
Okay.
raised my hand. I didn't even know what question to be asked. Honestly, I asked something which I don't even know, and the entire crowd laughed at me. Okay, because I was not able to deliver it properly that time.
Okay.
So that is where I started, and after that, the journey was not really great in terms of public speaking, talking, understanding. I have my own experiences which I wanted to share with people, and yeah, that is how it started. And now I have addressed about 30,000 students. I've been doing corporate sessions here and there. People like you invite me for the podcast, so that is how
Crazy,
it
man.
all started, man. Yeah.
Why did you want to become a disability activist? Like, usually,
Yeah.
people feel bad for them or sorry for them, or
Mhm.
it just they while away time feeling only bad. But why did you want to do something for them?
Also, I want to add on something.
Yes.
Like usually a lot of us are not aware of it.
Yeah.
Like it feels like okay, like we are doing our thing, bro. Like everyone is doing their thing in life, and like we are all focusing on our life itself, trying to build our own lives. But you trying to help someone out, creating awareness everywhere you go. That is crazy, man. Like, do you have something personal, like why you started off, or how did it go on, man?
Yeah. Thank you for that question. Again, in my previous podcast, I've spoken about this. I will just quickly tell how it all
No, no,
started.
no.
See, I did my MBA and I was almost at the end of the sixth semester. Okay, and everyone had got placed, and I was still hunting for a job. Even though I had good communication, stuff like that, but didn't work out. So all these big companies came in, big fours and stuff like that. People were getting placed. I was a little demotivated, but I had something in my mind ki I need to start off my career with something different.
Hmm.
Okay, and I was thinking the same day. There was a MSW placements happening,
Okay.
and that was for a social sector. NGO was hiring people who are core into MSW, Masters in
Okay.
Social Work. There were no openings for MBA.
Hmm.
But I went there. Again, as I said, I created opportunity for myself. I went, I
Okay.
spoke to my placement head. I asked him, I begged him, I made sure that I do that interview. I
Okay.
went, I did my interview. I started my journey there. Honestly telling you, I had no much experience of people with disability.
Okay.
I started with the NGO. I wanted to create a change. It could have been anything. But the 3 years which I was with them
Hmm.
changed the entire way of what I think about people with disability, how they are,
Okay.
and what value they add on to the normal people.
Hmm.
So that is how it all started. Day one, I had absolute no knowledge of what a person with disability is, how we should be with them or be
Hmm.
around them. I started learning more. I started working with them. And now I know that if they don't exist in this society,
Mhm.
somewhere we are useless because we get to learn a lot from them. It
Right.
only happens when you start, involving with them or being
Right.
with them, starting working. So that is how it all started. Yeah.
Crazy, man. You
Yeah.
are telling me that you've trained around 30,000 people, that you have done training. Like, how do you do it? Like, do you have like an online conference, or like you go to places, institutes, and then you teach them over there? You do like a session, like a counseling thing. How does it go on?
Okay. The training started when I joined the NGO.
Okay.
Okay. I used to do a lot of college events. I used to be an active participant when it comes to Management Fest. I've won a lot of fest to my college, Christu Jayanti. You might be knowing, right? Management
Yes,
Fest, Best
Right,
yes.
right,
Manager,
right,
this,
right,
that.
right.
So that really built my confidence when it comes to coming, talking in front of a crowd.
Okay.
So I leveraged that and I learned a lot of people with disabilities. I saw their structures, what happens, how it is, how to be around them. Then I created a model where I felt that the students now should understand what a person with disability is.
Hmm.
I created a model which will teach them end to end what a person with disability is, how to treat them, how to be around them, and how to leverage
Hmm.
being around with them. So I created that and I started giving small sessions in schools. I used to go talk to the principals. I used to tell, hey, this is what we are going to do. We are going to sensitize your kids around people with disability.
Okay.
That is how everything started. And it slowly changed to career counseling. It slowly changed to my experience as a student, because a lot of people are somewhere they don't have that access to reach out to people. For example, me as a kid, I was
Mhm.
introvert. I had a
Right.
lot of things going in my mind, but I had no one to talk to.
Right.
So that was the greatest challenge when I was a kid. So I don't want the same thing to happen with the present generation. So I
Mhm.
create that, elder brotherly vibe with them.
Hmm.
They can call me anytime. Any session I go, at the end of the session, I make sure I give out my Instagram ID or my personal number.
Okay.
So 2018, whichever sessions I've given,
Mhm.
till date, those students are still in touch with me. So that is
Wow.
the impact which I want to create. It's not just you go deliver, come back. See, I know life is busy, but that is something which I want to be different from. Trainers come, they talk, they go, and after that, if you
Yeah,
don't
yeah,
have
yeah.
that touch, your
Definitely.
2 hour session, after half an hour, he's going to forget that. There was a
Right.
quote which was said by APJ.
Hmm.
He was in our college when I was in second PO. You know what
Okay.
he said? He said that I have spoken for 2 hours now,
Hmm.
and I'm sure that in the next half an hour, you all are going to forget whatever I have said. Unless and until you don't start implicating whatever I have said in your lives.
Hmm.
So if you don't do that, nothing is going to happen. But our kids will not do it unless and until there's someone who's reminding them, checking up on them. How are you?
Hmm.
What are
Hmm.
you? So I just do an online, just a
Hmm.
Google Meet or something like that. 20-25 students join in. I check up on them. If they need any suggestions, I talk to them. I've built a community for myself. I try to at least connect with them once in a month. So that is how I've created value for myself, and yeah, leveraging it with all the students I have with my community.
But why? in this selfish world we live in,
Hmm.
or this cruel place, you giving so much amount of your time to just serve people, why?
It comes out of passion, man, because my journey as a student was really bad. Fifth standard, I was kicked out of a school. Till third, I was the top performer. Just in a span of 2 years, if that kid is not performing anything, he's to an extent where the school doesn't want him. Just imagine the things which I have gone through in school level. A lot of bullying happened. My confidence was dropped because there was a lot of competition. We usually drive into the competition zone, right? वो ये first आ गया, मैं second आ गया, कैसे हुआ? Oh, मैं
Yeah.
second में हूँ, third वाला फिर second आ गया, and now I'm in third place. So that is how my self motivation kept on going down, and I couldn't cope up with my ICSE syllabus. Okay, and the last option which I got, I think the first time I'm talking in front of the cameras, even my students doesn't know this journey of me. The last option which I had was, we will give you a pass certificate, take a TC, join a next school, and go to 6th standard. So 5th standard was a call which I had to take for myself. It's enough. 5th done, I will take a TC, pass certificate, and I joined in a state syllabus school. So I really have to thank my dad, my mom. They really supported me. So maybe that time, if that would have not happened, I would have not been sitting here talking to you right now. A lot of challenges still now faced by the students, not in terms of education, that's still less. Personal life is totally disrupted. So I want to be for them because I know what they're going through. Someone who has gone through it, they will understand more. And coming back to your question, the reason why I give so much of time, whatever expertise I have, I try to leverage that and deliver it to them.
That's crazy, bro. Like what you're doing, we appreciate that a lot. Like, do you also do like a one-on-one counseling thing for students?
Yeah.
Like, so like when these students come up to you and when they need some help, like usually what kind of help do they want to ask from you? What help do they want from you, man?
See, I've got calls night 2 a.m., 3 a.m., and the stories which come up are very, very sad. Because right now, if you talk about Gen Zs, the connection with the parents is not that great. Okay, so that's the trend. That is something which I'm not me telling, talking to 2, 3 students. It's a research done, and the connection with the parents is not that great because the atmosphere of the place where they live, which is their house, the family, is not a happy place to live in. Okay, maybe the parents themselves have some issues going on internally. They're not giving much time to them. If mom and dad fighting, and it goes to an extent where divorce rates have been increasing and stuff like that. So what is the impact which this person is getting on being a child? So he's seeing the people who he loves the most are getting separated or having fights day in, day out. So that really affects his mind. So with that, it correlates, and his academics are getting affected, career is getting affected, he is being a loner and stuff like that. So those type of calls is what I'm receiving right now. Education is still there, not able to cope up with education, stuff like that. See, people, Gen Zs right now are more passionate about doing what they want to do.
Right.
Okay, now if you tell them as a parent, if my parents were in the generation of baby boomers, so they used to imply things on us. Okay, mera beta doctor banega. Okay, it used to be like that. Because if I have to go back to my childhood, I still remember my dad so badly wanted me to be a doctor because I used to look like a doctor, is what they say. Okay, and it used to be to a level where they used to tell me, "Oh, Dr. Faiz, beta naam kya hai tumhara?" Dr. Faiz, Dr. Faiz. It used to be so much that I used to write down Dr. Faiz on my notebooks. You remember? Do you know? I mean, it used to be to that level. If people used to come and ask me, "तुम क्या बनोगे?" Doctor. तुम्हारा नाम क्या है? Dr. Syed Faiz. So it used to be like that level. But now, Gen Zs, you cannot implicate things on them. It is not going to happen. For example, you people have started a podcast. Maybe at my level, if I would have started a podcast without doing anything, see, parents don't know what is it. But I could not do that because that was not something which was in my mind. Or engineer to engineer banunga main, and all of these things. So that small here and there tweaks which I took has got me here. coming back to your question, uh, yeah, things are not that great with the present generation, especially the school kids. You guys are into college now,
Yeah.
but you might also have few experiences of yours. Mental health issues are crazily driven. I was reading a research which says that 89% of Gen Zs right now say that they are already having mental health issues. 89% of Gen Zs, which is about 2.45 billion out of the 8 billion what we have.
Wow.
Okay. Just imagine where it will go if the mental health related issues are still going on.
Definitely.
We are not going to be productive.
Yeah.
And if people like us don't give them time, I think the future is going to be very bad.
And also like their parents, like there's a lot of generation gap, and then in like a few years now, how the world is changing, it's everything very fast. So
Yeah.
the parents won't understand what the kids are like, how their mindset is, what
True,
are they
true,
suffering
true,
from.
true.
So they obviously need more people like you who are trying to help them out.
Yep.
And like as your dad was telling you that you are like, I want my son to be a doctor, you are, bro, like definitely you're trying to help people,
Thanks,
man.
man.
Hope my dad is watching me.
Definitely, I think
Yeah.
he is very proud of you, like for
Yes,
what you're
yes,
doing,
yes.
and definitely we call you Dr. Faiz. Everything you've written down
Thank
there.
you, man. Thank you.
That is
No,
true.
again, it was something which my dad understood. It was to a level. I passed my 10th. My percentage was pathetically bad. Pathetically not that bad. I was into my 52nd class. No one was giving me a science seat because my dad badly wanted me to be an engineer or a doctor. Okay, I still remember we used to stand in this big colleges. I don't want to name them. We used to stand in the big colleges in the lines waiting to just put that application there. I used to get rejected, man. I used to get rejected because I knew that by 55% college kaun sa dega. But my dad was so passionate enough. He used to take leave. He used to come with
Okay.
me because he believed in me. That day when I had to go pay the fees in my in my first PO, I sat and I spoke to him telling that this is not my forte. I don't like doing this. Science is not my thing. I cannot do science. He understood me, was the bigger thing for me to me sitting here and doing it. And the irony is that those colleges who rejected,
Now call you back.
they call me back for let it be the guest lectures or let it be talking to their students and stuff like that. And that's a biggest achievement for me and my dad.
Crazy, man.
How do you feel about it? Like when they call you back? Of course, you somewhere have that revenge mindset with you have achieved something.
You
Is
know, this
it?
happened with me. Okay, I'll not name the college, but
Yeah.
somehow we got a slot with the principal where we could have gone and convinced him a little. So me and my dad went, spoke to the principal telling that ये कर लेगा, ये हो जाएगा sir, कुछ ना कुछ करो, ये वो सब. At the end he didn't, because see, I'm not blaming him, but yes, we tried our best. And the same principal sent an email to me, okay, through the college and some stuff like that. I knew this guy's name. It just reflected me, and I tried searching his LinkedIn, and I saw it was the same guy.
Okay.
And I had it in my mind that I should go and talk to him. So I started my session, and he came and he was sitting in the crowd. So while going back, I went and I spoke to him. Sir, do you remember that so and so? In fact, he didn't remember. But for me, going and talking to him, and he calling me as a guest,
Yeah.
it's a super feeling, bro. You can't even
Yeah.
imagine. See, it's about adding value to yourself,
Right.
gaining knowledge. People will automatically start calling you.
I think that's the
So
bigger dream for most of our age people, because as you said, Gen Zs won't do their own thing, not like the previous generation.
yes, yes,
It
yes.
is a bigger fight for us compared to your generation.
It's a bigger
Yeah.
fight for you guys. I think somewhere we somehow tackled it because we
Yes.
followed the pattern. We had this what you say, the horse siders, right?
Yeah.
So we had that on. We just followed that. Maybe a little I did. I just saw some
Yeah.
different things and I started moving. But yeah, still now I'm telling you that because we are into a stage where we have to manage our families. Income is very important and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to tackle in both ways. I also work for a corporate, and I am
Okay.
also trying to do all these things. But for Gen Zs, it's a bigger game because everyone is disrupted and there's so many avenues. You guys have born with technology. You guys know what it is. See, starting a podcast itself is you have taken a big risk now.
Of course, 100%.
Okay, because
yeah.
this market is like, I mean,
Yeah.
it's a bigger market. It comes with a lot of competition as well. But what I'm trying to tell you is that it is a bigger game for you. It is a tougher game for you. Maybe I cracked it because there was a little less competition. But still, no, I'm telling you that if I'm not building my brand through what I'm doing right now, if people are not watching me, people will not even remember me, or people will not call me for the next sessions which I'm doing. So I'm trying to market myself as well, because if I don't do that, I might not be able to reach the next 60, 80 lakh, 2 lakh people, which I'm planning in the next few years.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like as you were telling, Gen Zs are, they have a lot of mental health issues. Like, why do you think, especially our generation, is it because of social media or the parents' influence? Or what do you think is the basis of why they have so many mental health issues? Because every day I read an article about something bad happening, especially to college students. Is some suicide or some harassment? Like gradually it's increased a lot. Like before they used to say 90s are not safe. I feel like now it's even 2024 is not safe for anyone,
True.
like how safety matters. It matters to everyone in every age. It's
Yes.
just the change of things which have happened. So why do you think Gen Z's have?
To understand this, we might have to go a little back to understand the
Yes.
generations, how it started. Okay. Right now, in the ecospace where we are surviving, there are about 6 generations. Before that, generations are gone. They're on top. Okay. So, to start with, the oldest generation, what we have now, is the silent generation. It's called the silent generation. So I'll correlate with that and to the Gen Zs why it is
Yes,
happening
yeah.
now. So the silent generation are also called as the traditional generation. So in a span of that was something before 1945. Okay, anything before that are the part of the silent and the traditional generation. So why are they called silent? Any inputs from you? Why do you think that they are called silent generations?
Maybe because they were not in the space of speaking out anything or living their life in their own style.
One.
No questions asked. They're just following whatever their family was doing.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. I'll tell you in a more structured way why. Okay. See, American study says that in America there were about 55 million such people who were surviving, apart from the lost generation. So before the silent generation, everything which was there, it's called the lost generation. Okay, we don't even know, there was no study done, just surviving, going, dying, and done. Okay. So traditional generation is one people started understanding them, what are their patterns, their characteristics, and stuff like that. So what usually used to happen was, if a child used to even have dinner or lunch before the parents have, it used to be a bigger thing for them. Okay, it used to be like, yo, he's done something wrong. If the child asks the mother, what is the food cooked today, what am I eating, he used to be the parents used to tell like, "Ki, shut up and have your food." So they were the generations who were not having this culture of being listened or giving their own opinions. But that generation was the most loyal generation of the entire generations which we have now. The most loyal generation. So coming back to how we are relating that to the Gen Zs now, is again there are some traits which the Gen Zs are saying to relate it with the silent generation. Okay, they're also being called as a silent generation of the new era, which is now in 2024. Just imagine, we have gone back to like about 80, 90 years back. So why, I'll tell you, the mental health issues were same there as well, but there was no study about mental health. There were a lot of things going on because these people have seen World War II, the silent generation. They have seen the world where Great Depression happened. Indians have seen slavery because we were not independent. Just imagine how that life was. We are Aram se sitting here, we have our own podcast studio, we are talking. That was not possible back then. So, generation was loyal, more into slavery. Now, what is happening is why they're called the silent generation. They are more into spending time alone. If they have a set of people, they're only comfortable with that set of people. No socializing, no going out, no exploring new stuff. There is a 80-20 rule again which applies. 80% of the people come into the silent category of Gen Zs. The reason why they're getting into a lot of mental health issues, because if you're staying alone in a room, if you're not interacting with people, your mind has nothing to do. Okay.
Yes.
You are into different stuff. You have you're bombarded with knowledge. You have your phone, you open, you see so many things. Your friend is doing good. He has rented a car. See, I was shocked to see this, man. There's a reel. Okay, there's a reel which I saw, and there's a great study on that. I will send you that. Just have a look. A guy of 19 years old has posted a reel 5 minutes back before he did suicide. And
Yeah.
have you seen
Yes,
that?
yes, I have.
And
Yeah.
that reel, he has shown himself so happy, so lively, so good doing in life. The next 5 minutes, he's no more. So what is happening now is the social media platform is just to show your life doing good. I'm doing great,
Yes.
man. Hey, how you? I'm doing great, bro. Just see my Instagram profile. I have about 1 lakh followers. I'm doing this, that. But actually, he's not happy there. Showing stuff which is not his is also a bigger thing now. So influencers are doing this. They're renting out cars and they're trying to show life which is not which applies for them. They're showing that luxury life and stuff like that. Me sitting at home, what will I think after seeing that? Bhai, main kuch nahi kar raha hu.
Yes.
I'm being useless. So that is the main trade where social media is impacting the mental health of Gen Zs. They easily get drived with what people are posting, what comments they are getting, and stuff like that. Maybe if we stop this, right? Maybe if we are not taking social media to an extent where our mental health is getting affected, the rest of the things might get sorted. This is the bigger game. And apart from that, whatever I said, the parents, the atmosphere, the psychological things are not happy. And there's a prediction which says that in future, the concept of getting married will also wave off. Because if you're not psychological, if you're not being happy in an atmosphere, you cannot be happy with a partner. You will like to be alone. You will like to die alone, which is the scariest part for the entire globe, I would say.
Yes, because even I believe somewhere you having multiple partners in your teenage will affect your married life somewhere.
100%, man.
Because
100%. Now
maybe
it changes week wise.
yeah, all the women you have been with will somewhere not be matched by your wife, because
True.
you have a lot of experience, and then if you want to stay with one person,
True.
it becomes difficult, and that's where somewhere marriages fail so much.
Yeah.
In India especially, the thing is, what I feel is India is a very manipulated society. we don't even we don't even have the eastern part of the knowledge properly, nor the western.
Exactly.
We are just
we are somewhere stuck,
we are middle
hanging
class.
here.
Yeah.
We don't know where we are going to fall, but
Yeah.
as of now, hanging. Yes, true. But truly, yeah. We see you guys can talk more on this because you guys are living it.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys have been interacting with students. I mean, you be with them, you live with them. So it is going to be a great challenge for you guys after getting married. Because, bro, I'm telling you, there was a case. A student called me, and she was talking about the breakup and stuff which happened. And you know why it happened. I was shocked to get to know, oh my god, this is happening. So she was okay with the concept of the guy having multiple girlfriends. Okay, just because she wanted him so bad that she was okay to have that relationship sorted. And it was like, okay, I'll give you that freedom, job,
Yeah.
you do whatever you want. At the end of the day, you have to be mine. Okay, so that was something
Yeah.
which happened. And I somewhere felt that it's not right to talk to the guy. I tried to said her, "Kisi, this is not something which you have to be into," and so on. So I gave my own opinions to her, and she understood. And I was shocked to see that how teenagers now are okay with the concept of having multiple people, and they see that the guy is into multiple girlfriends, but it's still okay. They still want it. Is that the same trait coming from the guys as well? I'm asking you. Because right now, if I understand, uh you know girlfriends or the boyfriends change over the week. So if you come and ask, how did this happen, you were together? No bro, I was drunk and something happened and something
Yeah.
like that. So that is very common now, which was not at the time of when we were in colleges. So in guys perspective, I want to understand, how serious are you guys taking relationship as of now, Gen Z's especially? Girls, somewhere I feel that they're brought up to a way where if they're attracted to you, if they start loving you, they will not leave you, as per my understanding. But there are few other traits as well. But
Yes.
majority of them, yeah, girls are always into that loyal side and the way they have been brought up. whatever
Mm.
it is. Guys, I want to understand from you. What do you think right
So
now?
first I'll give my personal opinion,
Mm,
and then I'll
yes.
come back. I'll give the public or whatever the Gen Z thing.
Okay.
So what I would say is,
Mm,
my thing is, of course I would want someone loyal with me, because
mm,
whatever I do to myself is what I'll do to her. It's how I
mm.
take care of myself. It's the same way I would take care of her too.
True,
So
true,
I would
true.
never treat myself bad or ill
Mm,
treat myself. So it's the same thing. But coming back to the mass audience or the Gen Zs, the problem what I feel is easy access. You have so many dating apps. You have, you can just DM anyone on Instagram. I think back in your days, it wasn't like that.
it was not.
Like, to
Yeah.
get someone's number only, you had to, go
Oh,
behind her
man.
in college, give love letters. That this
Yeah,
you
yeah.
you had a fairy tale love story. Like,
True, true, true.
according to us, finding a fairy tale in our generation, you're the luckiest man, I would consider, because in your time everyone who had a love story was a fairy tale, but in our time it's like worst. So the thing is, both, I feel somewhere, both, even men in this generation and women, somewhere lack loyalty or the mentality of relationship. The thing is,
So both
both, yeah, I
men
would
and
say
women.
both.
Okay.
It isn't like,
Mm.
because my group, I have around like 12 to 10 to 12 guy friends.
Okay.
So I keep hearing stories, she cheated on me, so
Oh.
I even hear stories where the girl
Mhm,
cheats.
mhm,
So I can't completely blame boys. It's somewhere like,
True.
she cheated, now I'll show the world who I am. So
Mhm.
men automatically get their male ego on.
Got it, got it.
Yeah, so that's what
Bro,
I feel.
basically, it's like two extremes, bro.
Mm.
Either they're extremely on the right side, or either
Or
they're
either, yeah.
the worst side.
Yes,
So
yes,
it's
yes,
like
yes,
that
yes.
now. Like our generation, many people are
Mm.
doing that only. Like
Yeah.
either they're on the good side, properly there, or everything is good, or
Mm.
at the bad side.
Do you
That is
guys
how
still
it
have
is.
this long relationships from 5 years, 6 years? Oh, they've been together from 6 years, bro. From school it started, and still college it's still happening. Do you see that?
Of course,
I've
I've
seen
seen
that, bro.
people.
Oh,
Yeah.
wow. Nice, bro. Good. Because that was something which I felt existed and not now, but some new learnings. Good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
Mm.
As I said, it's the same thing. And one more thing, why I feel the relationship doesn't work is
Mm.
people in our generation are not ready to sacrifice, bro.
Mm.
But I
Mhm.
see my parents, my mom, my dad, they sacrifice a lot for each other. They do
Yeah.
things. That is
True,
how they
true, true.
manage, bro. That is how it is.
That is
And
how
you
it
have
has to
to,
go. If not,
yeah.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
the girl who spoke to you, she's sacrificing herself.
She
for-
sacrificed
yeah.
to a level. She's like,
I
okay.
swear.
First, I was shocked to. First, I was shocked, and after that, it felt funny for me. But
Yeah.
I thought, ki it's something which I have to talk to her. This
Right.
is a
Yeah,
pretty serious issue
definitely.
because I have seen trades where guys make it so. See, I'm not against guy because when I'm a guy,
Yeah.
but my experience, bro. Whatever I have seen with my experience is it's not always the guy, but yeah, sometimes my experience is what I've seen. They try to make sure that she's with you,
Hmm.
she's under your control.
Hmm.
She's not going to go anywhere.
Hmm.
Happened with my friends, my people who I know as well.
Hmm.
So that needs to change. And my
Definitely.
message to the Gen Zs would be that if you're not finding something which is permanent,
Hmm.
right, then you're going to be in a bigger trouble after you get married.
Hmm.
Okay, because I don't think so the concept of arranged marriages and all of these things will work with you guys. Unless and until you guys know someone, try to find someone who's permanent. Try to find a person who you feel that you can spend life with, and
Right.
stick to that one person is what I feel. See, you know, again, the concept of wedding itself is going is what I get to understand. But yeah, you need to have someone.
Yeah.
You need to
Definitely,
have
I
someone.
think.
And I'm going to ask you this question. What do you think? Do you think that I'm married?
No. No.
Okay, I'm married and it's been 2 years now.
Wow.
And it's a beautiful journey. But there's one myth which I want to break about
Okay.
marriages is that people say that your first year is going to be your honeymoon period. And
Mhm.
after that, the challenges start.
Yeah.
But it's not something which happens. The first year is going to be pretty challenging
Mhm.
because you both are two different individual people. Even if you both are dating,
Right.
it is very different to start living a life together. It is
Okay.
very different because you have been independent. You just come, you crash, you do, but you can't do all that. Okay, it's very challenging. You have to make sure that the family matches the vibe. You have to make sure that everything aligns.
Right.
So it will take that 1 year for you to sort it down, and it is going to be crazy for you. That journey is going to be crazy. So one myth to break here is that the first year is not the honeymoon period. If you sail through smoothly in that first year, and after that it is going to be a smooth thing, just like how a business works, right? So the starting that break even keeps happening. You maintain that, and after that you leverage that and slowly start
then-
moving up. Yeah.
Right, man.
But what do you
Bro,
We are
he
getting
wants to
into-
talk about relationship. He wants to talk about girls.
What's
no.
happening, man? What's cooking?
No, I just want to know what
Yeah.
is that one thing which changed in you after you got married?
A lot of things, bro. I think I've got pretty serious in life, and I always think that there should be someone who always motivates you, relates to your work, and if you get that right partner. See, I'm doing a podcast here, and it's a Sunday, and she's there at home. She has absolutely nothing to do.
Yes.
Okay, but last night we were rehearsing all this. And
Oh.
whatever research I did about Gen Zs and stuff like that, she did it for me, and she was asking me questions. So that itself
Wow, man.
is a great thing to be in. Okay, they are challenges. Definitely, they are challenges. They are things which will come up front. See, today we are happy. Tomorrow it might not be the same thing. 2-3 days straight we might not talk and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure that there is no letting go. So if you both have that in your mind, you're going to sail through it very smoothly. And what has changed is, as I said, that I have a team with me now. She's my team.
Yeah.
Okay, because whatever I do, I try to talk to her. Tomorrow I'm doing a session, she does the research for me. Tomorrow I'm doing something, she's at the back end. Sometimes there are extent where she has edited videos for me. Something like that. That itself is the bigger support. So you need someone who's be like, yeah, tum karo, main hoon.
Yeah.
Okay,
man.
so that only happens when you find the right partner. And for the Gen Zs, the biggest advice is, if you don't have that right partner with you, now you will sail through. You will see all that fancy stuff. You will see beauty and stuff like that. In long run, it's not going to work out.
Right, man.
Talking from my perspective, from the Gen Z's perspective,
Go ahead.
I feel whatever you said right now is too good to be true for someone from our generation.
True.
Yeah. So that's the harsh reality we need to accept.
I know, man. I know. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's not that easy.
it is,
Yeah.
of course.
So let's. I'm done with this. Now let's change.
Yeah,
Let's. Like you do, like a disability activist. You are like a disability activist. So like you were. I was watching one of your podcasts, bro. You were telling that 1 billion people are disabled in this world, right? Physically challenged or mentally challenged, right?
Yeah.
So like, bro, that is crazy. Like when this is the first time that okay, because you were coming on the show, I did some research. I got to know that okay, like 1 billion people are disabled, and I was shocked. So like, do you think these governments and all of them are supporting these guys, like these people who are disabled? You think they're doing the right thing for them?
As of now, there are a lot of things which have changed,
Okay.
but before that, it was absolutely nothing. Okay, there were few allowances and stuff like that which used to be given by the Indian government, but now things are slowly changing because there are a lot of people who are talking about people with disability, still not very visible on the internet, on the YouTube platform, on the Instagram and stuff like that. But if you are on ground, there are some pro level people who are fighting with government, telling that this is what we need.
Okay.
Bloody do it. Okay, because our space is not accessible. So the first thing what the government has to think about is make your government offices, make anything possible which you feel that it is accessible to the public, has to be accessible place for people with disability as well. For example, if a government office doesn't have a ramp where a wheelchair person can access, then what is government doing for them? See, that's the basic thing.
Yes.
So if I have to come back, a lot of things have changed.
Okay.
And not blaming the government because things were different before, but now they're also taking this as a key feature to look into because they are seeing the potential what people with disability have. The
Okay.
same thing has been implied with the corporates as well. 3 years back this concept was not there, but
Okay.
now in the policies I see changes where corporates are trying to add that percentage cap for people with
Mm.
disability.
Okay.
That's a bigger thing, man.
Right.
Because now if I start an organization and if I say that I need a person with disability, who sets that policy? No one, right? But now it's happening.
Yes.
So slowly changes are happening, but it will take some more time. And we need people like you
Hmm.
who do podcast, who do stuff like that, who are talking to a mass audience. You just upload and it booms and it reaches out to millions of people.
Definitely.
People like you should talk more so that it reaches out to people. So one small example about booming I will talk about is I don't know if you saw that it is on trend. One of my friend's cat was being beaten up by the roommate. Did you see that?
No.
Was that your friend's?
Yeah, it was my
Oh.
friend's cat,
Oh my
Aftab. He's
God,
a
I
video
watched that video,
creator.
man.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he
right.
does content creation and stuff like that. So it's just a cat, but for him, it's more than a
Yeah,
child and
Of
stuff
definitely.
like
course,
that.
yes.
If you see the videos, you'll get to know
Yeah,
that
yeah.
how Aftab was connected to this cat,
Mm.
Definitely. I felt
was
so bad
crazily
watching it.
connected to him. And a day he just goes out, and this guy
And
was
this guy,
sick,
yeah,
and he
right.
had some call or something like that. She came and she peed on his bed or something like that happened.
Right.
Just tried to a level where almost she died. If you
Mm.
see the picture of that cat
Mm.
wounded, bleeding,
Yeah.
so I'll tell you what booming happened. So he just took that opportunity and he made sure that he needs justice for that cat. He uploaded
Yeah.
a video telling that, see, this is what has happened. Roommate. So just imagine if it's a roommate, he would be definitely a close friend of him.
Right.
But what he did was wrong. He
Yeah.
knew that, and that's more like a child to
Hmm.
Aftab. So he took a video, he started posting, and the top influencers of Bangalore came and support this shared. And now in
Correct.
today's or yesterday's newspaper, it was all around Bangalore Mirror,
Hmm.
Bangalore Now, Times Now, everyone covered it. Right.
Correct.
So that is something which we need for people with disabilities as well. To coming back to your question is, social media platforms need to encourage more. So I mean, people
Right.
with disability content. I'll give you a small example. People are
Mhm.
still not relating, especially Gen Zs,
Mm.
because they don't want to know about this.
Hmm.
People are
Yes.
the reason people are not creating content around it. If you go and see my Instagram reel, I've started
Mhm.
posting content, small clips of my disability podcast on this one.
Mm.
I don't
Okay.
get good reads there, but still I'm doing,
Mm.
Right.
because that has to be somewhere on internet. And maybe in the future, if someone comes to my
Definitely.
profile, if he sees, he will
Hmm.
learn one or two things out of that small piece of content what I'm doing. So yeah, people like you need to promote
Of
more on
course.
disability and inclusion.
When I went through your profile, I saw
Mm.
that even you were telling like even if you wear glasses also you're disabled. So that
Yeah.
somewhere it changed some little thing in me. I'm like, yeah, even the smallest thing, yeah, it
Yeah,
is
yes,
somewhere
yes,
a
yes,
problem.
yes. It is a
But
problem, man.
what I feel is, yes, of course, like how you said, it has changed because 10 years or 15 years back,
Mm.
there were no disabled washrooms for disabled peoples.
True.
And now
True.
most of the places, all these malls and all have
You
those
see that
wash.
separate washroom for
Yeah,
them.
for them at least we are
Hmm.
not completely happy. At least a 10% change is
Mm.
a we can
Mm.
see a brighter future to it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And people who are watching, I really want to tell them that whenever you see a disability washroom,
Hmm.
just go inside it and see how it is.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay.
you will get to know that person on a wheelchair, how he has to get up, how he has to sit in that WC,
Mm.
Hmm.
whatever he has to do again, get back, sit on the wheelchair, come out. So if it's not accessible, how is he going to do it? So
Hmm.
it's not about sympathizing, again I have said, it's about empathizing.
Amazing.
So if you do all that small research, right, you will understand that how lucky I am, and you will learn the concept of gratitude, that
Hmm.
bro, we are blessed, and you will get that feeling. So
Definitely.
you're not sympathizing, you're empathizing, and you're trying to tell ki, okay, God has given me something and I need to do something out of it. Something
And
like
in
that.
our
Yeah.
technology, like now disabled people or also the like us only, bro.
Mm.
There is so much of technology now that they can work like us itself. At the
Mm.
same time, they
Mm.
can do the same work. So I think we don't need to, sympathize them. There is no need of that. The technology
Yes.
is so good
Definitely not.
now that
Definitely
yeah,
not.
even they can do the same thing at the same time, and everything is the same.
Everything is the
Yeah.
same. In fact, the first organization which I worked, I used to work with people with disability, and I have mentioned it again and again that people with disability used to be in that managerial roles there.
Mm.
Okay, they used to handle projects for us, they used to travel, they used to stuff which I somewhere never thought that a person with disability can do all this.
Hmm.
This sense of thinking is next level.
Yeah.
they are just totally productive, man. If they are involved, they are loyal to their work and they do stuff very differently.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Definitely.
think the man who left sympathizing behind for disabilities was Stephen Hawking, one of the greatest minds of human history.
True, true,
You
true,
know,
true.
so I think at least now people can stop, feeling bad for them. At least a little help, maybe help someone cross the road or something.
True, true, true.
That can bring a huge change.
Yeah.
And what I feel is, of course, yes, in this country, in our country especially, we have so many problems that this is very small to the bigger people. So I think this should be one of the major considerations, because we tell all these religious clashes, everything. At the end of the day, when people speak about humanity, they only talk about the normal people.
True, man. Yes, yes,
At least once we want to see everyone and equalize, let's see them too.
True point. And one more thing to add on to what you just said. Well said. The only thing is when you are trying to help them out, there is a word in Urdu which says takabbur. Okay,
Takabbur.
takabbur
Okay.
is, you know, is ghamand or pride in yourself. If that is human tendency, if you're trying to help someone out, it can be 10 rupees or it can be 1,000 rupees or it can be a lakh rupee, or if you're giving your time to them, you should not have that takabbur in you. Takabbur is making you feel superior and putting that other person down. So you should not have that takabbur
Definitely.
first thing when
Yeah.
you're trying to help a person with disability.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Right.
need to be on the same level. When you're trying to help him cross the road, after crossing, you should not feel, okay, I've helped him. So that is takabbur. So that should not happen.
Definitely.
You helped him out, good.
That's
Try
it.
to seek some another help which he can definitely help you out. So maybe he's something good in something what he does. If you need that help, go ask him. He will do it for you.
Definitely.
Yes.
But that takabbur should not come
Shouldn't
in.
be there.
Yeah.
Correct, but I think that is how you need to live your life, and that's the right thing. That is the right way to live, right?
True.
And I was going through your profile. There was also a thing was mentioned there saying that you teach people who are disabled, right? Like you are beginning teaching. You're a beginner teacher or something. So like what
Sign
you do?
language.
Yes.
Yeah, sign
Yeah.
language.
So I'm trying to learn what they understand well. So
Okay.
there was this opportunity which I got, and one of the best trainers of sign language, they taught us few things. A common thing which anyone can talk with a person who cannot hear and who cannot talk. So that
Okay.
was sign language. So I've started to learn sign language to an extent where they understand, and the same thing I try to teach our people as well. So basic sign language and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm not to a level where I can say that I am perfect. But yes, if a person who comes and talk to me in sign language, he will understand what I'm telling. So if a normal person is coming and talking
Yes.
to him on his level, just imagine the proud or the happiness which he will get. He will get. So
Right.
that happiness somewhere we should give it to them is what I feel. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you need to answer two things.
Yes.
One, what change do you think the people should change in their way of looking at disabilities, and what change would you like the government to do for them from your personal point of view?
Uh, for the people, first thing is see, I can talk about sympathy, empathy, and all of these things. Okay, those are concepts which you have to do it later on in the period. The first thing, the first thing is make them feel included. Okay, so that is not happening at this level.
Okay.
See, in a corporate, you are involving people. You have that cap of 5%, 10%, 20%. You hire them, and after that, you're giving them some job. And if your workspace is not inclusive, you are having a Teams call, and if that person is not able to hear you out, then what type of inclusion is that? So try to have more meetings which are in person. Try to learn what they are good at. So make them feel inclusive is the first thing. Because just imagine. Um, uh, Again, a famous comedian was telling about his what do you say? His school story.
Okay.
You know this guy who runs this what is that called? Latent.
Samay.
Samay. So Samay was talking about his bullying story in one of the podcasts which he came in, and he was telling it is not about me getting bullied for. He was the fairest in the class, it seems, and he used to get bullied for that. He used to get bullied because he's fair.
Yes.
Okay.
Okay.
So he changed the perspective that it's not always a black who gets bullied.
Right.
It's about if you're a different, you get bullied there. If you're different, you get excluded there. And imagine that excluded person, what he's feeling that time. So the
Right.
same thing is happening with people with disability.
Hmm.
We are a larger community when
Yeah.
compared to the disability community.
Yeah.
7 billion is a bigger community than the 1
Yes.
billion.
Definitely.
Right? So it should not be like we are dominating them. Okay. Include them.
Right.
So my next talk will not be that 1 billion people are people with disability. No, we are 8 billion people. We are together in this. It should
Yeah.
be like that.
Yes.
That's
Right.
the common first thing which I feel that everyone should follow, is that make them feel included. Yeah. That is my one thing. And the next thing was, what was that?
What change do you think the government should bring for them?
As I said, that the government is doing a lot of things now. I'm
Hmm.
not going to blame them, but there are few things which I somewhere feel that NGOs are facing a lot of disruption. Is the NGOs? All the NGOs are not good.
Okay.
I have worked with them 3 years. I've understood a lot about NGOs. In fact, we had our own small group of people which we used to support. COVID, we have done a lot of work, but there's something called as a FCRA. Donations which are coming from foreign contribution. So
Mhm.
that entire policy structures was changed. The funds which those people can afford to give for the NGOs here in India to run the projects here, it used to support a lot of people here in India. Let it be education, let it be health, let it be livelihood. It used to have support a lot of them. But now those policies are changed.
Okay.
We are not getting right admin cost. If you
Hmm,
want to
hmm,
get funds from there are a lot of policies, implications. So if a person wants to start an NGO, he will think twice now.
Right.
Okay, make a little ease things for the NGO people.
Okay.
And if they want to start something to support the community, they need to have some allowances or something like that which will motivate them. So not just for people with disability, let it be throughout. NGOs are the people for the society.
Yes.
Okay. And if you're running an NGO, you have to make sure that end to end, if you're getting that 1 rupee, that 1 rupee has to be utilized on something which is valuable. Okay. Advice for the NGOs is, please don't misuse the funds. The advice or the support which I'm looking from the government is that try to ease a little for the NGOs in terms of FCRA contributions, whatever they get. Because we used to have this issue where the audit people used to come and take 2-3 days of us. We used
Okay.
to check end to end.
Mhm.
See, they have their own bad experiences because NGOs
Yeah.
have misused a lot of funds.
Right.
Yeah.
But for a right NGO doing the right thing, if
Mhm.
2 days of their time goes just in the audit purpose, showing
Mhm.
them record and stuff like that, that
Mhm.
is being unproductive. Right.
Right.
So,
Yes,
so
yes.
those things
Yeah.
need to be looked into,
Okay.
and I'm sure that the government will do it. Yeah.
Definitely.
Yes.
I think what you said is very right.
Yeah.
And
2-3 days we just used to be with them, man.
Mm-hmm.
Absolute no productivity, absolute nothing. No reaching out, no raising funds, no HNIs, no sessions, absolute nothing.
Okay.
So obviously
Right.
it's a loss for us, right?
Of course.
Again, working for society, and if all these things happen, it is demotivating. Someone who's passionately doing, he will somehow drive through it and do. But for a person who gets demotivated, and if he feels that he's not getting the right support, he will have to shut his doors and maybe try looking out for something else.
So, what's next for you, man? Like, what plans you have for your life? What do you want to do next? Anything big coming up?
Do I say something here?
Yes, of course.
Spill some tea, at least
Okay,
something.
I think I'm going to be your next competition.
Mm.
Okay.
Stop it, Faiz. Stop it.
No, man, not. See, again, I don't believe in the concept of competition, but
Yeah.
yes, I just said it. You guys have cracked it well. You guys are already having a podcast setup. You have started 2018, as I was discussing with you guys some time back. I had recorded one podcast which was on application called Anchor. So that time there was no absolute video podcasting and stuff like that. But after that, I got to do a lot of things, and I didn't have the right tech support, or I didn't know what a mic is, how the connectivity works. I didn't know what post production is and stuff like that. I've done some research, but right now I'm not starting. But yes, my next big thing would be I really want to start my own podcast
Okay.
because I have people like you who invite me to talk on these topics, but not everyone.
Yes.
So I somewhere feel that whatever I'm doing with the set of 3,000 people, 10,000 people, or 50 people, 50
Right.
students, 10 students, if I do that on a larger level, on a platform like YouTube or like Instagram, it'll be there. And it might also reach out to the entire globe.
Definitely.
So I'm focusing on that. So my concept is to reach out to more people with my content, what I have, with the knowledge, what I have. I would
Right.
just want to share that. And the focus is not the likes or the earnings which I'll be getting out of it. The focus is to make sure that I deliver what I have in me, making sure that it reaches out to the world. So that's the next big thing. And I want to full time start into training, development, giving away whatever knowledge I have. Because I somewhere feel that students trying to get out of the college, they still have, they don't have the right concept of which career path to choose, what they have to do and stuff like that,
Right.
which they don't need. But I somewhere feel that if they're not guided well, or if they're not known about what avenues they have, it'll be easy for them to choose the right career path. So career guidance is the bigger thing which I'm looking for. And the next big thing is corporates, because I somewhere feel that there's a study which says that by 2025 end, Gen Zs are going to take over the Gen Ys. Okay, it's going to be the ratio is 60-40 now. 60 are the Gen Ys, which are we. The Gen Zs are 40, but by the 2025 end, so that is going to change. You guys are going to rule the corporate, and I want them to understand how a corporate works, basic etiquettes of corporate, maybe writing an email, how to do stuff like that, your attire. So these trainings is something which I want to deliver it to our Gen Zs and our crowd. Yeah.
Thank you, bro. You're trying to help the Gen Zs
But
take
not
over
easy
you
to
guys.
tap them, bro. Because the focus, what I see in the previous generations, for example, if I'm talking, I try to make sure that my sessions are very lively, very interactive, talking about what they like to hear. I talk to them about PUBG, I talk to them about Snapchat, I talk to them about social media platforms, and I try to relate that with the knowledge which I have. But you know, the different trade what I'm seeing now is Gen Zs lose out on focus very very quickly. So to get the hold of them is a little challenge now. But yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, of
Definitely
course.
you will, man.
Yes. Yeah, if I have some
And
support, definitely yes.
definitely, and like, thank you so much for coming.
Yeah.
And like, whatever you're doing, we appreciate that a lot, bro. Like, definitely, we got to learn so much from you today.
Thank you
Seriously.
so much for having me, man. Yeah.
I think you don't even need to thank us. It's our pleasure, like completely. Like whatever you spoke, of course, more than changing anyone's perspective, it changed my perspective.
Wow.
At least to a certain
Right.
extent. So yeah, this of course matters a lot. I feel like, whoever helps others, there will be someone helping him too. I think.
Wow.
Yeah.
Whoa, that was good.
Yeah.
I'm going to keep this
Yeah.
with me. Yes.
So of course,
True.
you are gonna go big soon.
Yeah. Just pray for me. I need support from people
Yes.
like you. The reason why is I somewhere feel that you alone can't make the change.
Yeah.
You need to have like-minded people who are
Definitely.
involved together. For example, if I have to say that I alone can't start a podcast.
Yeah.
Okay. So I have few people who I know that are aligned with what thinking I am doing, or what they feel that okay, Faiz is going to do this, and I know why he's doing. So I want that level of people to be alongside me. The reason why you can see I have two people. One is Abdul, one is Zaim, who's here. So I somehow feel that they align to my thought process, and they have been helping me out. So yeah, I want to build a stronger, such like-minded team, and let's see where it goes.
Yes.
Definitely, bro. Keep killing it.
Yep.
If anyone needs anything from him, you can reach out to him on Instagram.
Yes.
And thank you so much for coming. Thank you so much,
Thank
bro.
you so much for your time, man.
And that's it for today, guys. See you all on next Friday. MVP Unplugged, man.